Today on episode 169 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our NFL Week 1 pick show, the college football recap, and a TCF top 3 of football gambling props. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 169 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure to follow us on Twitter or X or whatever you call it at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like as well. We also have a TikTok page. Go to TikTok. We know you're all there. Type that in the search bar. Give that a follow as well. For all of our content in video form, go on over to YouTube and subscribe to the page there. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, whatever it is. Subscribe, rate, and review. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. And, of course, the gentleman that I am joined with tonight, that is Zach at Lilia TCF. And Maddie is back at Schools_01. Boys, felt like fall today. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather, especially when I thought it was supposed to be very hot all week. It's nicely cooled down, but hopefully it can stay this way.
When I left the house at 5 a.m., it was 78 degrees. And when I came home at 4 o'clock, it was 68 degrees. So I thought we were going to be in for one today, and it ended up being nice. So can't complain. Maddie, how's it treating you?
Yeah, this is prime fat guy weather coming. I've talked about it many times. This is my time to shine. It's my time to shine, so I'm looking forward to it.
You can scratch that one off the bingo card. We do that.
Cover yourself up. You don't need to wear T-shirts anymore. We still wear T-shirts, but
I mean, you really got to go for the. You got to be cognizant. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah,
like you said, we're a thicker group of gentlemen. We enjoy this weather. This is perfectly fit for the typical Chicago fan.
Sweating. I hate sweating, and I'll sweat when it's probably 75 or above.
I was gonna say that makes
sweat on.
I was sweating this morning.
When you take a shower and you instantly know, like 4 hours later, you're gonna have to take another one.
Yeah. Not that's not typical Chicago fans weather for the
when
host.
You step outside and you're automatically starting to sweat.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, boys, let's jump into it. As always, we've got what's hot and not in the world with sinkers and floaters. Guys, my sinker is the city of Highland Park in Chicago, and they have kind of come under fire here. The city of Highland Park is doing essentially like what is called a poverty immersion experience this weekend at one of the churches there. And if you know anything about Highland Park, it's a pretty affluent city. And they are basically doing a class to show people with money the struggles of what it means or what it feels like to be poor. So it's kind of a wild move by a city that is pretty affluent, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't understand. That sounds like a bad idea.
I don't understand how that got through PR.
It's a bad headline.
Yeah. A bunch of rich people are going to
pretend to be poor
for 2 hours,
but then go back to their mansions.
Yeah,
so what are we doing here?
Yeah, and it's only like a 2-hour thing. It's from like 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. I'm like, yeah, you're really going to get the experience for poverty.
2 hours is really going to show you how it is to be poor.
I'm like, what a slap in the face.
We'll make for good Instagram reels, though.
Oh, or headlines. Like people are going to write about this for days.
Oh, it's just, and apparently
somebody's going to go and record it, and then it's all going to go over the internet.
It was on, I believe, ABC 7 News is where I saw it on TikTok. So yeah, that's going down this weekend. So if you're not, you don't have anything to do, and you're in the Highland Park area before the Bears-Packers game, you can go to a poverty immersion class in Highland Park. So
yeah. Well, I'll see you there.
With football coming up, we may just actually be poor.
Well, we'll get to that in the gambling show, but yeah, we plan on not being rich here anytime soon.
My sinker though is anything you're gonna do on Sundays for the next 18 weeks, 19 weeks. I mean,
middle of February, basically.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome. I mean, football is in full force starting. Well, tomorrow night will be tonight. We got Thursday night football. Then we got college football. Then we got NFL, Monday night football. Oh, I cannot wait. But Sundays, especially here, the games start at noon. You try to always think about doing things in the morning, but then you just end up going to get a coffee, eating breakfast, and thinking about all the games you're going to gamble on.
I knock everything out Sunday between about like 8 to 11.
See, you and
I
go also in a new spot where he's got a kid now.
And I'm playing either a podcast or a fucking ESPN through my headphones and walking through whatever goddamn store. And I'll get to a store that I frequent on Sundays a lot here in a minute. But no, like I gotta knock everything out Sunday, so I got the next like 7 hours to sit there like a fat ass.
Boomy, this is your first time with the kid. Now you're gonna have to entertain from 8 to noon, and then sorry.
My birthday is on Sunday, and I've had a bunch of people, asking what I'm, am I going anywhere? We do anything? And I straight up told my parents, I was like, I'll be honest, it's the first day of the NFL season. I kind of just want to sit on my couch and watch football for.
It's your birthday. You can do what you want.
Yeah. So I'm like, I almost like, you kind of feel obligated when people want to like go to get lunch or dinner. I'm like,
no,
not your birthday. Not your birthday, not any day.
If these people know you like they should know you, they should know you'd want to watch football on opening Sunday. So
exactly. So I can't
any day. If I just don't want to do something, I don't have to do it.
It's it's week one. Like it's whatever, 7 months of pent up. Like I need this. This is it's just what we need.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm like. Why don't we just like bump, like it's September 10th. Why don't we just bump any like birthday? Let's just bump it to October. We'll do it October 10th, right? Like I'll worry about it then. That's a problem for future.
Well, it's a spring thing.
Yeah.
As Big Cat says, a future me problem.
Exactly.
Like, obligations are gone now. That's just the way
absolutely. Maddie, what's your sinker?
Mine is a store I just mentioned, and it's actually one of my favorite stores, but they're getting a really big sinker from me right now, and that is Costco. Walked in with the family yesterday to grab some things. We just got back from Wisconsin. We needed to get some like groceries, a couple like things to hold us over for the next week or whatever. Right when you walk in, long underwear, gloves, and then it's followed by Christmas trees and wrapping paper already. So
yeah, it's too early.
It's Labor Day week. It's one day after Labor Day, and the shelves are fucking stocked for Christmas, dude. Mums are getting like just already cleared out. There's no mums left. Basically, they're selling them by the truckload.
Yes.
So now it's all Christmas in your face. So when you go to Costco and get every other piece of glory that you get from Costco, you're now going to get the Christmas abundance here coming in hot. And see, this is the worst part is you don't get the music with it right now either, because let's be real, the funny thing everybody tries to do is be the first one to play Christmas music, which that was not really that funny a long time ago either, but
that jumped the shark. And
when it is time, it's like Christmas music hits, dude. So it's just like that's what makes it as much as anything. So I'm not We're not fucking NFL hasn't even started. I'm getting hit with Christmas trees here. So
you wouldn't want to come to my house. My tree's still up.
Still up's a different story than now.
Well, I got like halfway through the year, and I'm like, might as well just keep it going.
Yeah, Maddie, I wanted to make some sort of smart aleck comment about, Sam's Club, but I guarantee if I go to Sam's Club right now, there's Christmas stuff up too. So I can't even start a friendly debate. So that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
And guess what? People are buying it.
Oh, yeah.
Owen was getting jacked. There's like Mickey Christmas trains and stuff. He was getting fired up.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. I'll go to sinkers, and mine is pets. And that is because a Nebraska gentleman was pulled over the other day for driving around in a modified car with his gigantic bull sitting in the passenger seat. As you can see, this is an older car that has been modified. There's no passenger side window. He is actually can't see it from this angle, but
it's been modified, all right.
half of the windshield has been cut out as well. And this man drives around with his 2,500-pound bowl hanging out the side of his car quite frequently. And as you can see, I can't imagine what that's like to clean up. But yeah, I mean
that's a lot of.
That's fucking vile.
But how is the tire rim not dirty?
That's a good question.
The tire doesn't have poop on it.
It's constantly moving. It just flings it onto the road.
Yep.
How the hell does that thing get in there?
Very carefully.
How much shit is inside that car?
That thing is.
There's an obscene amount of shit in that car. I'm glad nobody threw the airplane shitter story in here for seniors, but I don't know what's worse, man. I think this might be this is vile.
Yeah, apparently this guy like drives this through parades, but like you got to imagine that the guy in the driver's seat is just ankle deep in cow manure after seeing this picture.
Well,
he's got it.
What was it not for?
Can't even affect him anymore.
No, you have a 2,500-pound cow as a pet, like you don't smell it.
Any idea what the ticket was for?
I don't know if he even got a ticket. He just got pulled over.
They let him go.
It is Nebraska. Anything goes there.
That is true. But I couldn't imagine like being around that too. It just smells so bad.
But even just like you said, like off the wheel. Like imagine you're just walking down the sidewalk and you're like, "Is it raining?" And you look over and you're just getting like pelted with cow poop flinging off this wheel.
Oh.
I mean,
imagine the thing just gets out.
Yeah, I don't get it.
A few steps, that thing could be gone. Then you have a wild bull.
That would not be good.
Well, my floater boys, with golf coming to an end here in the next few months, it's bowling season for me. I don't bowl a lot, but
yes, you do. You play in a 30-week league.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
The only time I really ever bowl.
You play in the longest league season of any like sport.
I'm back. I'm ready to go. I haven't bowled in probably 3-4 months, but I'm ready to go. I'm feeling it. I've been walking around the house, pretending to bowl, getting the throw going. I'll even take the bowling ball sometimes, just walk around the house. Maybe I should just go bowling, but I'm just getting used to it,
You play essentially like an MLB length season for your men's bowling league.
You're right.
That's insane. 30 weeks.
Well, it's on a Wednesday though, so it's not like it's really in the way of things.
Yeah.
And also it starts pretty much when it starts getting dark out early. So
yeah. To each their own, man. It seems like you guys have fun, so I'm not here to yuck your yum. So
I also have nothing else to do. So
yeah, that helps.
It does help.
Matty, you a big bowling guy?
I like it. I suck at it, but it's fun.
Same.
Yeah, I'm not very good either, but they have a handicap.
Once a year bowling.
Yeah,
once a year.
I shoot for like if I can get a 120, 130-ish, I'm like giant. Like
me too.
Happy with that.
Mm-hmm. That's like my handicap was like 130 something, so it's not that good, but it's fun.
That's all that matters.
For my floater, I'm going to go the internet route, and it's the Burning Man videos from the weekend.
Yes.
Those I could not get enough of those. It was outstanding to watch.
I bet you those people loved it. They were on so many drugs.
It was outstanding to watch people.
Well,
people and campers complaining about having to camp for an extra day. That was, it was very heart-wrenching to see. Most of these people have roofs over their heads and beds, and had to spend an extra day in a desert with drugs and bands and all sorts of crazy shit.
Maddie, I also learned because of this that Burning Man is not necessarily a music festival.
What else could it be?
It literally is just like this weird party out in the desert for people to do drugs.
Then what's the problem here?
Yeah,
What are we?
You,
what am
you
I
knew
missing?
what you were getting yourself into here.
You're camping, and it rained and it sucked, and everyone who's ever camped more than 4 times in their life has gotten torrentially downpoured on, and it ruins everything and it screws up the whole day. They got stuck in mud. RIP to the person who died. That sucks because I think it sounded like it was like some kind of like maybe I don't want to speculate, but it didn't sound like it was of natural causes. That way. So
it's crazy that doesn't happen more things like this.
It does.
And obviously the peyote had to be rampant at a place like this out in the desert. So who knows what else is going on. But yeah, I mean, you camp for like about 48 extra hours, and I mean they had Starlink there, so they all had internet. Most people were still able to get charging in some capacity.
Well, Aaron Rodgers had the weekend off, so you know he was there.
It's like what are we complaining about here? So I don't know.
Imagine everybody's Aaron Rodgers at Burning Man.
Well, then they're acting like how are we ever going to make it out of this place? Well, you're in a desert, so that shit's going to get rock hard in about, I don't know, 2 days. So it'll turn back into a road in a minute.
Exactly.
While it rains that weekend.
Yeah, like the once every 5-year kind of torrential downpour. Yeah, it was bad timing. Don't get me wrong, and it would suck. But I mean, they were acting like this is the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity.
Yeah, it was.
Sounded like they handled it pretty well. Like the organizers got everybody out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a fire fest.
It was not a fire fest. And bonus floater, a Fire Fest 2 making a return.
That's crazy. That is insane. If anyone actually goes to that,
you have to now.
Now is the time to go.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, let's fucking go to Fire Fest 2. Like that's just ultimately what it is.
That's a good rhyme.
I think now is the time you go. There's no way they could possibly screw it up again.
Yeah, just wait.
See, pessimistic Zach.
Like, how could
yeah, sorry, I'm pessimistic about Fire Fest, which was like one of the biggest flops of all time.
It was the Great American Swindling.
Hey, Billy McFarland did his time, all right?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably going back again at some point, it seems like.
Yeah.
Won't be the last. Let's go ahead and jump into the TCF Sports Minute. We've got to start with the Cubbies, guys. I mean, this is exactly what we asked for. We're in the beginning parts of September, 76-64. They're a game and a half out of the division, game and a half out of the first wild card spot, and they just swept the San Francisco Giants with the Diamondbacks coming into town for a 4-game set. I mean, this is what we signed up for. Like,
if the Cubs
put the hard hats on and let's go.
If the Cubs win today, they will be 1 game out of first place in the division and the wild card first spot because neither the Phillies nor the Brewers play today. So to think about where they were 10 games under 500 and now they're 12 games above 500. And I mean, this team is looking awesome right now. Suzuki is on fire. Cody Bellinger, if it probably wasn't for him being hurt for that 1 month, he might be an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
He probably would be if it wasn't for Acuna being out of this fucking
That's true.
We got Jordan Wickett 3-0. We got guys coming up from AAA that are looking awesome, having fun.
Justin Steele making a case for the Cy Young.
Cy Young. Assad's pitching today. He's always fun. He's good.
Alzolay's turned in. Alzolay and Mark Leiter Jr. I mean, what more do you want on the back end of your bullpen right now? This is unbelievable.
And I mean, a year and a half ago, if you'd have told me that Adbert was closing out very meaningful games in a playoff race.
Mark Leiter Jr.
Beginning of the season or 2 weeks in.
Yeah, that is
wild.
I never would have thought this was coming, but here we are. I do have one question, though. Why is I think it's Canario, the kid they called up, why has he not been on the field at all?
I don't know. I think he got his first at bat today, but the game was kind of already out of hand. No, I don't understand it.
Why call him up? The Iowa Cubs are still playing right now. If you're not going to play him,
plans, and I don't know. I understand either.
And I get the fact that, like, maybe they don't want to disrupt like the lineup and the way that they've been playing lately because they are arguably the hottest team in baseball. But at the same time, like,
We'll give him some pinch hits or something.
yeah, you got to find something for him, and if that's not going to be the case, like let the
Just let
kid
him
go back
stay
to
down.
AAA. Yes, there's no harm in that. I don't understand.
I think you rush a prospect if you're in a playoff race and one of your top players goes down with an injury. Say Cody Bellinger gets hurt and you need a spark. That's when maybe you tap into a prospect a little bit earlier than you may want to, and hoping you catch lightning in a bottle from that, just based on the sheer talent alone.
Exactly.
I don't think you bring Canario up at this point when he's 21 years old. He's hitting the fucking shit out of the ball at AAA to not give him at bats. The whole point would be to bring him up to tap into his bat because it's on fire right now. You probably just wasted that by letting him sit for 4 or 5 minutes. So now you're not helping anybody. So I'm with you. I don't get the point of bringing him up not to use him. I like David Ross. He makes some decisions sometimes to me that just like make me want to put my head through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That said, like what Zach pointed out is, they've swung about 21, 22 games in the other direction from where they were at one point this season, made up a ton of ground, passed up the Reds, passed up the Pirates early in the season, and now they're, got the Brewers a game and a half out, and it's right where you want to be. I got to see more from the back end of that pitching rotation, though, because like Tyone, get just at some point DFA him or let him sit somewhere because it's not productive right now.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. It's bad right now, and I think like the way I look at that signing was like maybe they didn't anticipate this team, competing, and they were like, oh, Tyone has been an inning eater, and if they're going to be bad, at least he'll just eat up garbage innings. But now that this team's in a playoff race, you're like, wait, we got to have something more than this. But it sounds like
the leash needs to be short.
Yes. Exactly. And Stroman's down in Arizona looking, a little bit better for a comeback from him, hopefully soon. But, yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that either.
It's almost a little too late.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But on the other side of town, we're not going to spend more than 60 seconds on this. The White Sox, 53-86, 20 games out, 24 out of the wild.
By a balk the other night.
Yeah, and they got beat 10-1 by
the season.
Guns smuggled in when the belly fat.
Yeah, Zach said it perfect last week that that's just a complete perfect picture of the White Sox as an organization, like everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks.
I said Tim Anderson getting clocked by Ramirez a month or two ago, like when that happened. It was just like that was the season right there. That just summed it right up.
But I also heard, I think it was White Sox David said it, that it's embarrassing in the sense that they're horrible at baseball and they embarrass themselves. It feels like on a weekly basis. He said, he's like, the Rockies are bad at baseball, but they're not out making clowns of themselves on a weekly basis, in the media by whether,
they fire their GM and then they hire a new one within a few weeks.
In-house. He's an in-house guy. What do we do? What are you doing?
I literally don't think you could script this for a bad movie.
And then you got your owner flat out telling you, we will not be pursuing Shohei Ohtani. Then if we're not trying to get the best player in the world,
which I thought about this, I go, okay, they probably wouldn't be in the running for him because you probably don't want to go there, but don't say that.
But they wouldn't even be in the running if the timing was right. Oh, that's my point. That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying we're not spending that kind of money on baseball talent for this team. We will not do it.
Say that. Just what's the point of?
There's nothing to gain. All you have to do is you're just telling your fans, I'm not going to do it. Shut the fuck up.
Don't ask.
If I was a Sox fan, dude, I'd be through the roof.
Yeah, I don't know how people stick around with that organization. It's a mess. It is a mess, and that is more than enough time we need to spend on that organization. Real quick recap. We started doing this a couple years ago. I want to run through the Division I football teams in college football in the state of Illinois. Illinois opened up with a close win over Toledo. They are 1-0 They've got Kansas this week. Looked real ugly for about the first half. Looked like we thought we're going to see a MAC upset of the Big Ten there. Didn't happen. Northwestern is an embarrassment, 0-1, and they have UTEP this weekend. It might be one of their few wins, but UTEP's a good program. NIU shocked the world on Saturday when they upset Boston College. NIU hosts Southern Illinois this
You also
weekend. It
got
was
paid
also
$1 million to go in and win a game.
1.1 million. I definitely am not donating to
Dude.
the Alumni Association this year since they picked up that $1.1 million check.
They played. Who they play?
They play SIU this last weekend.
Yeah.
Boston College.
Boston College just got $1 million to give to NIU.
Yeah, dude, they're an are they ACC now?
That's crazy the amount of money that's just going around college football.
Yeah, we'll take it. Like I said, not donating to the Alumni Association this year after we picked that up. They did that a couple years ago and they beat Georgia Tech too. I want to say it was like 800,000. So always nice to pick up wins on those. ISU, they play ISU's 1-0 this year so far. They play Western this weekend, who is 0-1, and surprisingly, Eastern Illinois 1-0. They are usually a bottom of the barrel team, but they host they go to Bowling Green this week. So a lot of big stuff coming in the state of Illinois. We got at least a couple 1-0 teams to start the year. Only 2 0-1 teams in Western and Northwestern. So a lot happening there. Let's jump into it, boys. It's why we're all here. Bears Packers week, opening day. Sunday, 3:30. I know Zach's grinning from ear to ear like a buffoon. So
I'm just excited. I'm excited for football. I'm excited for Bears to be back. But you gotta get up for this because we don't play the Packers until week 18. So we gotta get ready for this.
Yeah,
which I think that's kind of dumb the way they do that. But it's one of those things. Everyone's like, oh, you can get that pump for a game, but it's like, yeah, it's a rivalry that you don't play for the rest of the season. Yeah, it's exciting. It's the first game of the year.
Not even that. Like you said, it's first game of the year, and it's the biggest division rivalry in football, arguably. Like everybody's 0-0.
So you are in like a win-win position. You win the game, it's awesome. You lose the game, you're like, well, it's the first time in Chicago, whatever. And then for us, if we lose the game, I don't know, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I think the Bears, last I checked, were a 1.5 point favorite. Yep. So, like I said,
I can't remember the Bears were favored in any game, but
it wasn't that long ago.
It had to have been like the first few weeks of the season last year.
DraftKings has it down to 1 now.
Is that what it's at? I don't know. I think it's a primetime game. It's like you said, it's Jordan Love coming into his first career start, Justin Fields in kind of the biggest season the biggest game that he's going to have. And everybody's been talking about that leap from.
It's the biggest season too. I mean, this season's huge.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think there's much more that football fans in general could ask for.
Mm-mm.
But like you said, it is very weird that we won't have this conversation again until the end of December.
Also, Wild is at 325, but
yeah, they probably wanted to just
prime time. Yeah, they want to get some eyes on the game,
and there's a lot of noon games.
Yeah, well, and then you also don't want to make that the Sunday or Monday night game because there's a good chance that neither of these teams gets to like 8 or 9 wins, right? You're showing you don't want to put the Sunday Monday game as like two.
And I mean, you want to have good games all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm excited, and like you said, it's kind of I definitely feel less pressure about Sunday than you guys might, but I think it's still going to be a good game. I feel confident about what the Packers are going to do, but yeah, like I said, I don't know. No one knows right now with Jordan Love. It's a lot of the unknown.
What I didn't like is the Justin Fields coming out and being like, "Oh, me and Jordan Love are good friends, this and that." I don't want to hear that right now. They're enemies.
Yeah, I agree. I don't need you can shake hands and take a jersey swap after the game. We don't need to hear that.
No.
One guy I'm worried about, I will say, for Green Bay is that Christian Watson. I think that guy is going to take the leap in the next year or two, especially if Love is proven to be like even a decent quarterback. He's going to have to throw to somebody, and Watson's got fucking talent coming out of the ass. So that guy's going to be he's going to be a problem for a while. The one other thing on the flip side, though, that you look at the Bears, and the unit that I'm most excited for, and I think is very big, again, it's in a division with guys like, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, like I said, Watson is having a good secondary. And the Bears secondary with Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon as your corners, Brisker and Eddie Jackson as your safeties, is as solid as you're going to get, I think, in the NFL in a lot of ways, just from an experience. And then you've got two guys both outside, good one-on-one guys. They're both, they can stay to the side. They don't have to travel with the receiver because they're both very talented. As long as they stay healthy, I think the sky's the limit. Brisker's a playmaker, dude. They blitz him. They kind of play him a little bit everywhere. Led the team in sacks last year. So I'm really, really excited to see what that secondary is going to look like defensively, on top of obviously the growth from
and the
Fields,
biggest question is how will the offensive line be?
Yeah. See, Darnell Wright's the key. If he's as good as they're saying he's looked,
let's hope.
They're saying this guy looks like all pro right from the jump. And that's, if you hit on a Quentin Nelson type offensive lineman right from the jump, that's a game changer. That's a big time game changer. So if he's all that he's cracked up to be at the moment, then I think they could be in for a really good season.
Well, especially with a quarterback like, Justin Fields, who's going to be mobile and is going to be vulnerable.
And he needs an athletic offensive lineman to get out there with him a little bit too.
And it's also a big test. Like Green Bay's defense is very good.
Very
so,
good.
It's one of those things where you have an inexperienced line. Like you're not, walking into this, like you're getting thrown right to the wolves. I'm also excited to see, because obviously Green Bay has a good, right now, a good, healthy offensive line. If they can stay healthy, they'll be okay. But the depth isn't there. If those new additional pieces to the Bears, defensive line and linebackers, are they going to be able, to get through the line? Are they, is Green Bay's offensive line going to be everything that everybody's cracked it up to be? I think it's also a good test, kind of both ways, looking at it, from that end.
There's a lot of questions going into it for each team.
That is very true.
I can't wait.
Weird. It is. It's good. It feels weird. I feel like obviously the Packers haven't been in the spot with a new quarterback since I was in high school. So, it feels weird, and I'm just trying not to think too much into it. I do feel confident that they'll win this game, but like I said, I don't know enough, about Jordan Love. We'll find out. I don't even know if I'll probably bet Packers money line, but
hey, we got the Cubs looking awesome right now. We got the football season coming up here. We got Bears playing Packers for Boomy. Then we got the Blackhawks coming up here in a few months, which is going to be awesome to watch too, just because we're going to have Connor Bedard. I'm excited for Chicago
camp
sports.
Starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So this is going to be fun here in the next few weeks, few months for Chicago sports.
That is true, and we'll have it every previews of it every week on the podcast and some morning shows tossed in there. So, but before we move on, we got to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best quality coffee around that you are going to find. I promise you that. They work with Dom Frederick. They work with Ian Happ. Listen, the guy's won a Gold Glove. He's your starting left fielder for the hottest team in baseball. He wouldn't drink bad coffee. Okay. So make sure you go to connectroasters.com. Check them out on Twitter at Connect Roasters. Get yourself some amazing coffee. Get your day started off right. And who knows, maybe you could win a Gold Glove someday if you drink enough of this incredible quality coffee. All right. So go get you some Connect Roasters coffee. So big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, it's what we've been waiting for since Week 18 ended. It is the return of the TCF NFL Pick Show. You know how we do things here, folks. If you've been around, we take 2 noon games, 2 afternoon games, a Sunday night and a Monday night, and we run it all year. Big shout out to Maddie. He won it last year with a record of 60, 45, and 2. Pigoy came in second place, 53, 51, and 3. I was in third at 49, 55, and 2. And way down the standings was Zach in last place at 36, 70, and 2.
Right. I'm coming for a big year this year. I'm gonna be better.
I don't even want you to have good picks, Zach. I just want you to put picks in every week.
You know what? I'm gonna have better picks though. I'm gonna win this year. I'm gonna win.
If you could gamble that, folks, go ahead and take no on that bet.
No, you can't.
So, boys, let's start off. Does anybody have their 2 noon games ready to?
Because I'm ready to. I'm on fire right now.
Oh boy!
Jaguars -4.5 in Indianapolis. I think the Colts, they're gonna be all right, but the first game, Anthony Richardson is gonna be. I'm guessing he's starting, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's a tough first game for him. So I'm going Jaguars -4.5. I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a big year. And then I'm going Vikings -6 against the Bucks. I don't think the Bucks are going to be very good this year.
Got it at -6.
I may have. No, I don't think I picked them to win the division, but what'd you say?
You had -6.
That's what I have it at.
Okay.
The Sports Action app.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't hate those picks at all. Tampa Bay is such a question mark.
Especially in Minnesota.
Jags are supposed to be really good. So I like both of those picks, Zach. Matt, you got yours ready?
Yeah, I'm actually fading Zach in one of them. I'm going I got the Colts +4.5. I do think Richardson's going to be a little bit of a problem. I like Jacksonville. I think Ridley's going to be a great fit with Trevor Lawrence. I do think they caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle late last year, as opposed to just like we're playing outstanding. Because
the only problem is Jonathan Taylor is not playing.
True. I do think Anthony Richardson's going to be a little bit of a problem on the ground, though. I think he's going to be I think he's going to bring a little bit of that he's going to run, and that's going to be a bit of a problem, I think, for that defense to deal with in week 1.
Because if you're a Colts fan, you got to be so annoyed because if you had Jonathan Taylor, you'd be so good. I mean, not so, you'd be good.
I agree with you there too, and plus it's just the whole. In the next game, I'm going to stick to the same philosophy, but the interdivision home dog, you're usually getting close games between division teams. 4.5-point dog at home, I'm going to take them there. I'm going to stick to that same principle, but I'm going to go to the AFC North, and I'm going to take Cleveland as a home dog +2.5. Joe Burrow's been out for most of preseason. I think there might be a little bit of rust to shake off. Since he didn't start off as well last year, it kind of seemed like they hit their stride later in the season and kind of got hot headed into the that November-December stretch, as opposed to playing their best football at the beginning of the year. Going to hopefully lean on that a little bit. And I do think that roster for Cleveland, they've got a good offensive line. They've got a really tough defense. They got Nick Chubb. It's all in whatever. Which Watson do you get? Do you get last year Watson, or do you get the Texans Watson? I don't know. I don't have a ton of faith that he's going to be great, but I think it's going to be a tough matchup in week 1, especially the Browns at home. So
I am actually with you on that. I had Browns +2.5 as well, because just after learning, and I hope I'm not wrong and it doesn't, completely reverse, but the Bengals were not good at the beginning of last year. And I think that obviously having a full off season with the Browns to prepare and not be out for whatever 10-12 games it was is going to be huge for Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to keep it close. I do think they're going to win the game, so give me the Brownies at home. And then I'm also going to take the Titans +3. They're in New Orleans, new quarterback for them, new coach, I believe, new coach this year for the Saints. But also, like, this is, they talk about it on PMT a lot, but this is the time where everybody starts doubting Mike Vrabel and say that, oh, this is Jacksonville's division. I'm not counting the Titans out quite as yet until they prove that they're out. So, right, is Ryan Tannehill?
Hopkins, so.
Yeah, is Ryan Tannehill, the best quarterback in the league? No, but are they good enough to compete with a team that's basically, new coach, new quarterback in the Saints? I think they're going to be good enough to stick in that game and win that game. So I'll take the Titans and the Browns. Let's move to the afternoon slate. Zach, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going Bears -1.5 against the Packers. That was easy.
I can get you one now. Too. DraftKings has -1.
Okay, I'll go with 1. And then I'm going to go Eagles -4.5 going into New England. I just have no faith in the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots are such a question mark.
It's a big game for the Eagles. I'm thinking Jalen Hurts is going to have another really great year. So I think 4.5 is a good number. I think they'll win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I like the Eagles in that spot as well. I can't argue with you there. Obviously, I disagree with your first pick, but you want to lose games. That's
I
on
would
you.
hope you would, unless you like the number.
Nope, not at all. Maddie, you got your 2?
Yeah, I don't feel great about either of these 2 right now, but first one I'm going to take is Denver +4 at home against Vegas. I'm not a big Josh McDaniels fan. I don't know. I'm just not.
No
their
one
running
is.
back situation. Their running back situation with Jacobs is kind of he just obviously re-signed. He's back in now, but
and they got Jimmy G, right?
They got rid of Darren Waller. They got Jimmy G as their quarterback. Yeah, but it sounds like Devontae Adams isn't really happy playing there, and Josh McDaniels is facing a former team who probably Sean Payton would like to stick it to a little bit. In his first game, I do think you're going to see a little bit better Russell Wilson this year than you did last year. They do have good weapons, especially outside. So I'm going to take Denver -4.
I got you better, Maddie. I got you at 3.5 on draft.
Hey, I'll take the hook. That's even better. Thank you, sir. You're right. Actually, Caesars has 3.5 currently as well, too. There's another one. And then I hate to do this, but I am going to fade you again on the first one. I'm going to take New England. There's something about that, the Super Bowl runner-up, first game back, bad taste in their mouth, a lot of hype. I'm really high on Philly this year. I think they're every bit as ripe to go back and make another deep run this year too. I think it's a weird matchup. I think Belichick kind of has obviously had all summer to prepare for this game. So I'm gonna take the Patriots. Getting 4.5 at home. I'm a home dog chaser at this moment now because that's now 3 of them at this point. So. And then I also have a small home favorite in Denver at 4. So obviously, I like the home teams in Week 1. Bears,
not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers at home -3 against the Dolphins. This is probably just my dumb brain, but the Dolphins having to travel across the country to play the Chargers, and I said this in the preview. I'm high on the Chargers. Was high, probably a little too early last year. In my pick of Justin Herbert and how good he was going to be. But I really like the Chargers this year, so I'm really banking on them being good. And my second pick, I'll do it. I'll take the Packers +1. I think they're going to win this game. I think the defense is too good, and I think that the offensive line is going to keep Love up just enough time. I think that Watson's going to have a huge game, and I know we talked about this earlier, but I think that eventually once Watson gets going, it's going to open up guys like Romeo Doubs and some of the other pieces there. So I like the Packers in this game to win. And I think I saw they covered 11 of the last 14 against the Bears, so I'm just kind of riding on that. So
yeah, they had a guy named Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback for those games, but
hey, same name on the front of the jersey, pal. So that's all that I need to know. Sunday night game, we got the Cowboys, we got the Giants. Cowboys 3-point favorite. Who do you guys got in that one?
I got the Cowboys.
I have a team that is now an interdivision home dog at +3.5. So I'm going to take the Giants again, another home dog. I have to at this point. It's basically
you have to, but I just don't. I don't think they're gonna be good.
Dak stinks. That fucking guy stinks.
Daniel Jones
Brian
stinks too.
He's playing for his job now.
Brian Dable, he's been playing for his job for fucking ever. Dude.
I think
Dak stinks.
I think the Cowboys have 2 better quarterbacks than the Giants have.
I don't think so. I think Danny Dimes pretty.
I don't hate Daniel Jones.
I don't think he's
Not a fan.
I don't think he's that bad. And I don't know. Saquon, I think he's gonna have a big year. I think he's gonna throw a middle finger at him. Just go ham this year.
I'm going Cowboys here. I was way too high on that.
Yes, here we go.
Preview.
Feed them to me, baby. Let's go.
And a lot of this has to do with the fact that like the Cowboys seem to start they're kind of the opposite of the Bengals, right? They always start the year really well and then they tail off at the end. Unlike the Bengals, who start off the year poorly and then stink at the end. So I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty damn good this year. Let's move to the Monday night game. Bills, Jets. Bills 2.5 point favorite.
I'm going Jets. Jets. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to have some magic during that game.
Couldn't
First
disagree
game
more.
in New York.
This is like the super team nonsense all over again.
That's what's breaking my interdivision home dog because of my trends all night tell me I should be taking the Jets, but I don't know, man. The way those super teams always freak me out. Like it's like that Eagles won a couple of years ago, like with
super team. What super team?
What do you mean? What super team? Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook,
all the wide receivers. Loaded.
The Bills are loaded too. What are we talking about?
Yeah, but they've at least been together before.
Yeah.
So what does a super team mean?
Bringing a bunch of hired guns, like a bunch of free agents in and stuff.
That's not basketball.
That's exactly what this is.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, it's not that hard. I think it's actually they've had 3 all the training camp. It's not like it's that.
All I'm saying is the Jets' makeup on this team is not built for the long haul. They're not a team that's built to be good for 5-6 years. They're built to win now.
I just think the Bills on the road, game 1, something it could go bad. They're all gonna be all pumped up because they're gonna have
ayahuasca tea running through the veins.
No, not the Jets. The Bills. DeMar Hamlin's gonna be back. It's gonna be very exciting.
There's the DeMar Hamlin. Did you see his odds for the comeback?
I mean, if he plays one snap of football, he's getting comeback player of the year. What are we? That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
-400 is a bargain.
Yeah,
that
he's gonna be -1,000. He died on the field pretty much, and now he's playing football again.
Literally the comeback player of the year.
guys, we're neglecting the fact that I forgot about that, and I put in a bet on Russell Wilson to win comeback player of the year like a month and a half ago.
He could win MVP, and he's not getting comeback player of the year.
Yeah, looking now, that was a complete waste.
Imagine they have all the things. Oh, we have Russell Wilson. We've got all these different players. We got DeMar Hamlin. Russell Wilson wins the award. That can't happen.
Yeah, but what happens if he gets cut?
If he plays one snap of football for the Bills, that's all that matters. And I don't think he is.
Yeah, you might have that there. I'll give you that.
The -400 odds are honestly, that's way. They should be -1,500.
Better, -285 is Hamlin on draft.
What?
Apparently. Yeah. And that's even think about Tua, all those concussions that he had last year. He's +2,000.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I got Russell Wilson at +3,900.
Yeah, it's just there's no way he doesn't win that.
Calvin Ridley coming back from the gambling suspension, +3,500.
Little comeback story.
The NFL will not let that happen.
It's a true story of retribution.
Well, sticking on the gridiron, we got some college football. We got to recap the first true weekend of college football. Only had two big upsets in the top 10. That was LSU losing to Florida State and Clemson losing to Duke. But I think the biggest game of the weekend was Colorado and Deion Sanders and the boys going into TCU and taking the win there. That was an insane game. That was one of the most fun
That was
college football
awesome.
games.
There wasn't a lot of great games going on during week one, but that was exciting. I don't know. I think it's cool to see a school like Colorado beat TCU.
And especially like Colorado has, since like Cordell Stewart in our lifetimes, hasn't really been much of a storyline.
They just tied for the amount of wins they had last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Deion is changing a lot of things the way that recruiting is going to go. I think Colorado going to the Big 12 was an absolute monster move for that school long term, and it was an absolute get for the Big 12 to get a little injection once that
Colorado
there.
didn't have the money when they signed him.
Colorado has taken on more bets this week than any NFL team has already in week one.
That's the thing. And I think I like Deion because like he's such a disruptor to the traditional, like what you think of a Power 5 coach, right? I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, then we got guys like Brian Kelly, who I just can't stand.
The number one quarterback in the 2025 class has got a visit scheduled there now for the USC game. So,
yeah. Top 5 as it sits after the first full week. Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, Bama 3, Florida State 4, and Ohio State 5. Those all 5 of those schools, other than Florida State. I was very, very impressed with Florida State, but those other 4 really didn't play anybody.
Florida State obviously won the weekend in terms of the top 10 teams that played. Nice to see Clemson get absolutely housed. That didn't hurt my feelings at all.
Awesome.
Yeah, is the Dabo era dead in Clemson, South Carolina? I mean,
nothing's better though when he loses a game and they show him running down the hill all by himself.
That's the thing too, is they're stuck with him.
Oh yeah,
they're stuck with him forever.
Mm-hmm.
So
for what he did the last few years, he has won himself a lifetime contract at
Clemson. Couldn't agree more.
I thought that one was, and not even the fact that they lost, but the fact they scored 7 points against. I mean, Duke played well, but like Duke's not.
It was repeated turnover after turnover after turnover inside the red zone. I think they had 4 turnovers inside their 50. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was, and then it's one of those where they've got to get it turned around quick. Like there's no time to play around. And like I've already said,
if you think about it, their playoff run is over.
Yeah,
most likely.
Yeah, crazier things have happened.
You can't have a loss to Duke as your to make the playoff. Not a 14.
And now I think if I agree with that in a sense, but like let's say Duke comes out and wins 10 games and
it doesn't matter. I just don't think it matters. I think for the amount of teams, unless there's like a bunch of pretty good teams. But the problem is Alabama, Georgia most likely are going to have a spot.
Ohio
and then you're going to have to
Michigan.
put Clemson in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State.
And if you're going to lose like that, they have to go undefeated and beat almost all their ACC teams by like 30, 40 points for it to matter.
Florida State team that played Saturday night will absolutely fucking murder Clemson.
Yeah. Like I said, they've got to come out and do like Zach, you nailed it, man. And they've got to come out and just boat race everybody to be back in the conversation. But man, can't.
After they play like that, there's no way.
Yeah, it was bad early and often. Others, any interesting stories, any games that you enjoyed from week one? I was very impressed with Caleb Williams.
I get annoyed at these. I know maybe it'll change or whatever over the next few years, but the Alabamas and stuff like that, the Georgia's playing like nobody's.
Yeah.
Like,
Georgia's schedule is
insanely. Let's have some like awesome games week one.
Yeah, and like I know this is because I'm a Florida fan, but like, and I know we were excited on Thursday night, but that was a
Grand
big
Merch, baby.
big time matchup with an SEC school and a very good Pac-12 school. Why are we playing that on Thursday and not Saturday night?
Everyone wants to see Grand Merch.
Yeah, no. If I never see Graham Mertz again, I'll be happy after that.
My favorite storyline is the quarterback of a team that lost by basically 30 last week. They lost by 27 last week, I should say. Then they're a 10-point dog this week. It's the quarterback for the Rice Owls, JT Daniels, on his fourth team.
The journeyman.
It's just he went from USC to Georgia to West Virginia. Now he's at Rice, just playing college foots.
You know, that's awesome
some NIL money.
You guys get to go through 4 different programs, and
yeah,
most people only get to go through one.
Yeah. So, and I do like them this week too, by the way.
I will say this as a guy who loves like gear, all the shirts and
cool
shoes.
gear.
That guy's got a lot of sick gear over the
4
last
different
4
jerseys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The JT Daniels Rice jersey would be primo right now.
For sure. We definitely needed some sort of like a crash course on all the transfers, because there was guys I'd like see a name and be like, oh, I forgot this guy's at this school, so
his counterpart at USC, Keaton Slovis, is at BYU.
Yes, that was one I was going to bring up.
The one guy, Coastal Carolina, McCall, that guy's still there. That dude's a stud.
I was going to tweet that out on Saturday and completely forgot to, but I feel like he has been at Coastal Carolina since I was in college and I graduated 10 years ago.
Yeah, that guy is he's been there forever, it feels like.
It's a pretty damn good quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into this week, we only have 2 games of teams in the top 25. That is Ole Miss versus Tulane. That's going to be a fun game. Tulane, kind of the up and comer, right? Won the bowl game last year. And then our other top 25 matchup is Texas and Bama. God, I'm not the biggest Texas fan, but boy, am I going to be throwing horns up on Saturday, hoping they can take down Bama.
Oh, Bama beats the shit out of them. I hate Texas.
What do you got against Texas?
I fucking hate Texas.
You hate like Texas Bama more than you hate Bama? I hate
definitely. Them. Yeah, I hate Texas. I don't like Bama either, but I don't like Texas. I think they're the most overrated program out there.
Yeah, but that's not their fault.
Yeah, it's exactly their fault. It's their fans' fault. It's the fucking we have enough oil money to build a Big 12 network, and it's just it is exactly their fault.
I don't know. I don't.
And then they're going to go to the SEC, and they're going to be like a normal, just run of the mill fucking program there.
Oh, when they come to the SEC,
up, baby.
And they got to come to the swamp and throwing horns down as much as I possibly can.
I roll Tide. Fuck it, roll Tide, baby.
No,
I'm all Nick Saban this week.
Horns up for this weekend.
Oh, I would love to see Texas beat them so badly. I cannot stand Nick Saban.
I like Saban.
Goat, but
I'm not going to, so quit asking. That's like the greatest gift ever, dude.
See, that's why I think teams like Colorado can hopefully take away from a team like Alabama and start taking players from Alabama and stuff like that.
The only thing is Deion's going to go to the NFL at some point. Some NFL.
No, he's going to go to a top. He's going to go to a top program, and he's going to go to the top program in college football. I don't think he'll ever coach NFL.
I feel like Deion will get like he'll have like Jerry Jones will throw an open blank or something.
I just don't see him. I think he likes college football way more.
I mean, I think. Yeah, especially if he doesn't have to do all the street recruiting where it's like getting on the pavement kind of thing.
Well, if you go to the NFL, like all these players you're playing with NFL players. In college football, you can prove people wrong like he wants to.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely. Well, boys, let's wrap things up. And as always, we got the TCF top 3, and in honor of opening week in the NFL, we've got our favorite NFL or any football gambling props that we like to play. So does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
Yeah, of course. Just take the over already. We know what's coming.
Well, no, it's over under field goals.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Field goals made.
The PFT.
That's awesome. It's always fun because it's a random bet you can always make like a Monday night, Sunday night.
For sure. Just
It's
something
fun.
to sprinkle, a little something extra, little cherry on top.
No one ever thinks about it. So it's usually a decent number, like 3.5, like minus 110.
Thursday night games, it's like the perfect.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Matt, do you want to go second or do you want me to?
You can go.
Give me anytime touchdown scorer.
Good. That's not what
I like to sprinkle a couple on those, and especially
That's
on
always
tight
nice
ends. I love tight ends, and especially when you do. I like the first one. I'm not gonna, say I don't bet those, but like
don't tip picks.
Sorry, that's on me. You can edit that out. Just kidding. Don't. The anytime, because it gives you a reason to watch those games that aren't close
all the way to the end.
Yeah. So when you've got red zone on, and you can throw that, and say, Mercedes Lewis has caught another touchdown. I had that at plus 1,600, stuff like that. So I'll take anytime touchdown score.
I like the right from the jump street. So my first pick, I'm going to go with the first touchdown score.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Way better than any time. It's like when you hit a first TD, it's like.
Well, yeah, it's better to hit the first TD, but then at least after that, like you with the anytime, you still have a chance throughout the whole game.
That's what I'm saying. Anytime or first time touchdown score, you bet you might have lost
They're
interest.
both exciting bets to me. So
2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Win's a win, baby.
Give me 3 hours.
Then I'm gonna stick to early in the game, and I'm gonna go with first drive score. So any kind of a team score on a first drive. It's a lot of sites will like boost those too. So I like that one. One of my buddies, shout out Joe the mailman, he likes those a lot too. So he gets those a lot.
This one doesn't hit often. It's always insanely high odds, and I like to just sprinkle a couple bucks on it if it's two teams that I like, and that's a defensive score, right? So like a fumble recovery, interception recovery, anything for the defense to score.
I'm going to kind of go with that one. I'm going to go a QB to have an interception or 1.5 interceptions or something. They're not very good. That always keeps it interesting.
Especially when it's a quarterback that you hate and then he throws like 3 interceptions and then you kind of get the double
and this
satisfaction of that.
It gets tough to do with streaming, but if you can find like a live game that you are close enough to, if you can go like run, like rush, pass, whatever, to bet like the next snap, those are exciting.
That is exhilarating.
Quick hitter.
Yep. That is an exhilarating bet.
And when it hits, you just go crazy.
That is fair. Matt, any commentary on Zach's 2 picks there?
No, I mean I like them all. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean,
we're betting on football, so there's nothing wrong we can say.
I'm never gonna hate on any of these. Like, there's not much you can say.
Here's my final pick. This is one that I will, especially I do these for the primetime games, and that's final score. Final score, total, evens or odds, like the final number, evens or odds, because it's always minus 110, and I always pick odds, and I don't know why. I just find that one, you're like cheering. Oh, well, maybe if we get a field goal here, and then they go for 2. I don't know why. That one just sticks in my dumb brain. But the evens or odds bet, even at halftime, full game, doesn't matter. Give me the evens or odds.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of my last pick being the individual sack for a player. So like the over/under for a sack total. A lot of times you'll see him as like 0.75, so that way it like is above the half sack or whatever it may be. That one I think is always great as a little parlay nugget too, because like for week 1, just for example, for tomorrow night, Aiden Hutchinson's plus 180 for over 0.75 sacks. He gets 1 sack, you win your bet. That's plus 180. So if you assume, say you're going to play Detroit, say you like Detroit, a little money line action. So we'll go a little Hutchinson, 1 sack, and say we'll go, Detroit money line. And just that 1 sack, if you assume.
Oh, the same game parlay.
Yeah, if you assume that Hutchinson's going to get that sack in that game, you get the same game parlay boosted odds on a plus 180 both sides. So you're looking at plus 420-ish probably on
I like
a
that.
parlay. So
It's a good
I
idea.
just it's just a little way to if I've got a money line dog, I'll usually try to throw a little side carrot just to kind of spice it up a little bit, get a little enhancer.
I don't hate that. Well, let us know what your guys' favorite bets are as we get into the NFL season. Make sure that you check out the graphic for the Week 1 pick show that will be out here this weekend. But we can't thank you guys enough for joining us. That was episode 169. Big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure you head to connectroasters.com and get yourself some coffee. You're going to need it Sunday morning when you've got 10 hours of football to go. You can find us on Twitter at @typical_Chicago, all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, give those pages a like or a follow. YouTube, subscribe there for all the content in video form. Wherever you get your podcast, subscribe, rate, and review. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, Zach at ZLiliaTCF, and of course, Maddie at schools_01. Big weekend coming as far as football goes. We'll be tweeting like crazy. So make sure you catch us on there. And thank you again for joining us. That was episode 169 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.